Until now, hit by L forms have been, all in all, relatively easy to recognize. They have all had either a hit prefix or the hit prefix with the hey assimilated into another prefix letter, whether that be the yod or the tav or the aleph, etc. of the imperfect or the mem of the participle. The chief challenge that does develop in recognizing hit by L forms in the text comes from two different phenomena, metathesis and what we call the assimilation of tav. Metathesis means the switching places of two consonants in a word. Usually this is something that happens because the changed order of sounds creates an easier pronunciation. The assimilation of tav is when a tav, instead of having its own sound, becomes absorbed into the next consonant, doubling that sound. So just as we have talked often about the assimilation of noon, in certain circumstances in the hit by L, a tav can assimilate to the following consonant. We will first look at metathesis. In the hit by L, whenever the tav of the hit prefix, whether as hit or whether in the imperfect yit, tit, et, etc., or the participle mit, whenever any of these forms, the tav precedes one of four letters known as sibilants. Those are samek, tzade, sin, and shin. Metathesis occurs, meaning the tav and the sibilant switch places. So if you were to add the mit prefix of the participle to the root sater, you would think one would have mit sater. But in fact, what happens is the tav and the samek switch places, and you have mistater. Similarly, if you were to add the mit prefix to the root sakar, one would think you would have mit saker. But the tav and the sin have metathesis. They switch places. You have mistacher. Likewise, if you added the yit of a hit by L imperfect to the root shamar, you would expect yit shamer, but you have metathesis. The shin and the tav switch places. You actually get yish tamer. In each of these cases, then, you will note that you have to look in slightly unexpected places to get the three root letters. If you have mistater, the root letters are actually samek, not the first tav, which is the tav of the hit by L with metathesis, that tav and that resh. If you look at yish tamer, you have to find the root as shin, mem, resh, recognizing that metathesis has occurred. To add one more challenge, the tzade is not only a sibilant, but also what we call an emphatic consonant. If you say tzade, you have to purse your lips and punch the sound out. Because you have the sibilant, the tzade has metathesis. Because it is also an emphatic consonant, it will cause the tav of the hit by L prefix to also change to a tet. So if you were to use the root tzadak, righteous, and were to add to the front of it nit, that being a hit by L imperfect prefix for the first common plural, hence the noon, which would replace the hey of the hit prefix, you would expect nit tzadek. But first, you have the metathesis, you have nitz tadek. Secondly, because the tzade is emphatic, the tav of the hit by L becomes a tet. You have nitz tadek. The root letters are tzade, dalet, and kof. And this tet is actually the tav of the hit by L, the tav of the original hit prefix, but it has undergone not only metathesis, but also the change to tet. Metathesis is something that will trip you up unless you are careful, because it will cause you to misidentify the root letters of a word. For example, if you take the form va'esh tamer, you might be tempted to look at the last three letters and think the root is tav, mem, resh. But in so doing, you would be mistaken. Because of metathesis, the root letters are actually shin, mem, resh. Second, we come to the assimilation of tav. Three consonants in Hebrew are known as dentals: dalet, tet, and tav. They're called dentals because they are said with the teeth. In these three cases, if the tav of the hit pa'el prefix, whether as hit, yit, mit, etc., comes before a dental, the tav will assimilate, doubling that following dental consonant and marking that doubling with the presence of a dagesh forte. So if one wished to add the prefix yit for a hit pa'el imperfect to the root tet mem aleph, you would expect yit tama'u, but in fact the tav assimilates in to the tet. You get yit tama'u with a dagesh forte doubling the tet, telling you that there was once a tav of a hit pa'el prefix there. If you wish to add the participle prefix mit to davar, you would get an expected form of mit daber, but in fact the tav assimilates into the dalet. You have midaber, and you have to realize that this is a hit pa'el form, that the dalet has a dagesh forte indicating the original presence of the hey of the hit pa'el.